Terry, so Mexico's coming up in a couple of weeks. Tell us about what you'll be doing there, and also what you would anticipate some of the big themes to come out of the show.
Sure. So they've got me working at Mexico. So I'm doing a number of panels. I'm moderating a discussion around native advertising, which of course is very topical these days. Everyone from industry leaders to comedians seem to be talking about the topic. So we'll give that its full fare. I'm also moderating a panel around what investors are thinking in this complicated market. And then finally, I'm delivering a presentation of sort of state of the state of the latest trends. And I think the highlights there there's a number, but I think the meta trends that I think a lot about are threefold. So one is the fact that in today's digital advertising world, consumers are in control. And by that I mean we really have to take into account what the value proposition is for a consumer rather than the more traditional notions of sort of interruption. So they now have a stake and they're making choices. Second relates to programmatic. It's the term that we've heard all around, and really all that just is software coming to the media buying, the ad buying or the media selling equation. And by the way, people get all vexated about this as some kind of new fashion thing. The reality is almost every other industry has seen this level of software bringing automation to their workflow processes. And you can make some analogies to the travel industry that follow the same course, and it's not a big deal. This is not unusual just for advertising. And then the third, I think, relates to this notion of the redefining the TAM, the total addressable market, for what we're talking about in terms of digital marketing and digital media. People tend to just look at a portion, and a growing portion, of existing ad spend, and that, I think, underestimates the opportunity in this industry by a long shot, because it doesn't take into account, well, yes, it is growing, but it doesn't take into account the huge marketing spend that takes place that's not defined as paid advertising. Remember, marketers spend hundreds of billions of dollars a year to make sure their products are front of the aisle in a retail context. Well, when you move to a mobile world, there's no aisle. Your phone is the aisle. So there's a huge opportunity there. There's, of course, the marketing automation and SaaS world that's interconnected. That, of course, at the bottom of the funnel drives to e-commerce and retail. And of course, in addition, and that brings into the four payments, digital payments, and how that's all connected to the funnel and to purchases. And finally, communications. These large telcos who have come to the realization that they have these mass mobile networks are now taking a hard look at seeing what kind of value-added opportunities and capabilities they can build onto their existing network. So I'm not suggesting that we add together all these TAMs. I think you take it into account that turns out that digital media and marketing is the core technology at the center of all these large worlds, which is going to make the opportunity, I think, very, very interesting for companies in this space.